Okay, let's be quiet. Now she's got this old blanket and one of my sweatshirts crumpled up. She'd gone in circles and crumpled all this stuff up to sack out on it. Are you awake, Chloe? How you doing? I'm gonna have to give her something. Okay. Oh, she's just gonna sack out some more. Hey, welcome to my radiologically controlled little machine shop, and there will be a survey prior to exit. Also powered by American Rotary. Let's head on in here. Oh, just goofing around here. Oh, that's a good clothes hanger, huh? Okay. Hey, I'll put you on the tripod here or the Noga Big Boy and try to figure out what to do the rest of the day. Hey, I tell you what, I feel very lucky to be able to sit between a vintage Brown and Sharp, incredibly interesting milling machine from World War II with the sliding vertical head. Over here I have a 1951 Moore jig boring machine. Both these machines came out of the Hanford nuclear reservation. And one of the interesting things about the nuclear industry is the materials that are used are often very difficult to machine. And that can be like beryllium alloys and steel alloys, high nickel alloys, and cast alloys that can be extremely tough. And you know, like Hastelloy is kind of a common material found in other industries, also used in the nuclear industry. That is a very difficult material to machine. So all those things kind of make things interesting, and it kind of like sharing my experiences working some very, very tough materials, which is kind of fun. And kind of explains machines like the Monarch 10EE that followed the development in the materials that the machine had to cope with. The materials that the early Monarch 10EEs were working on during World War II are not as difficult, or were becoming more difficult at that time. So the Monarch 10EE had to evolve to machine those materials to the highest degree of accuracy. And that explains the drive system and the continuing increase of quality of the machine itself. Now, one of the things I took note of years ago was back in the 1970s when I first seen these machines, and I was lucky enough to use one. Not the best one, the old one I got to use as a youth. But what struck me then, I was looking at, I'm trying to think of the years. I think they had a 1959 machine. and they had probably a mid-60s module drive. Now, that one was the worn out one they had. So that was the one that I used. The 59 they bought in Seattle. There was a dealer there called Royal Machine. Maybe some of you remember it. It wasn't Howard that had it, but for a period of time in the early 1980s, they hyped and sold Monarchs, and always had a cleaned up one in their little showroom somewhere close to downtown. That was a very long time ago. But that's where I picked up that blue brochure that I have, that you see on my homepage, that shows the blue lathe, the 1984 blue lathe with the it's not the modules like what I have here. The regenerative, all solid state, direct current drive. but anyway, the machines kept improving in quality as well as drive performance to keep up with machining these crazy materials that they're using in these research, nuclear, and industrial or military needs. So the other manufacturers just couldn't keep up with that. The Monarch apparently was challenged, and I've read some stuff on the internet, but who knows what the real truth is. But the fact is, from the maybe 60s through the 1970s, there's a lot of examples of imported tool room lathes. You know, Shovlin comes to mind, Wheeler, the Colchester, the little Colchester one. And I can talk about those, and I'll probably offend the owners of it, but the facts are that the Monarch 10EE dominated all the competition, kept all of the big government contracts they had with all of the major contractors, multiple ones out at Hanford that produce nuclear fuel. There's Exxon Nuclear, there's just everybody you can think of, Atlantic Richfield. It was General Electric Hanford and Floor Daniel Hanford. There's just all these entities out there, the money-eating monster called the Hanford nuclear site. That's a study in itself. You know, nobody would know about it except if a tank leaks, they have to evacuate Portland, Oregon, which should be evacuated anyway, from what some people tell me. But the Monarch 10EE dominated out there, and for some reason the hard-edge HLPH never showed up out there over the years, and I don't know why that is. It seems like it could have found a lot more use in the instrument labs. I'll get into a little bit more capabilities. Now, I don't have much, if hardly any, experience with the hard-edge HLPH, but I put my time in with the HC chuckers. So the Monarch 10EE, a fellow just chimed in on a thread. He picked up a Lodge and Shipley AVS. Now, that model, it was made during the power turn years. And the power turn, I like to put a picture of that old power turn on my videos in the stills at the end sometimes. Now, that's a geared head powerful machine, and it was really quite accurate. I think the Axelson is more accurate than the power turn I had. You know, my Axelson is likely not more accurate than your power turn. I don't want to go there. But I had over 20 years of power turning with Lodge and Shipley. Now, the AVS model is an interesting machine, and I've seen many at the machine tool dealers in the region here over the years, but not one that ran. And what would happen is users that are used to like this Axelson that you're sitting on, it's okay, you can sit on the Axelson. It's not plugged in. Start using a machine like the AVS that is a variable speed. I believe some of them were motor generator. I just hadn't been able to get into them. And it seems like the machine tool dealers, except one in California I knew of back in the 1990s, could fix them. And it seems like the one he had, this guy in California, was Industry Machinery Sales in Ontario. And he had one there, and that's the guy I bought that blue Lodge and Shipley from. He had a Lodge and Shipley AVS there with this, I believe, the motor generator, and it was very long, that was pulled out. Well, what happens is you get used to the power turn, and you try to start pulling the power out of a variable speed lathe, and you get in trouble. You just cook the drive. They can't produce the power at all speeds, without getting too hot, overheating. And that's one of the things you'll find with the Monarch 10EE. It has 5 horsepower, yes, but not at low motor speeds. So that's when you can get in trouble with machines like the Lodge and Shipley AVS and the Monarch 10EE and others with an electronic drive, is you just got to keep mindful of how much load you're putting on the machine. Now this Axelson here, I found before the machine will quit that the cross slide and stuff seems kind of iffy. And Axelson continued to make improvements, and just a year or two later they beefed up the cross slide. Like had two nuts on each side to lock down the compound, but this has only one. So Axelson, it's got power. One fellow told me that he worked in a shop and something got stuck in the Axelson at low speed between the chuck and the waist, and it lifted the tailstock, or not the tailstock, but the entire headstock off the waist. That's how much power these geared head lathes have. This Axelson I have is the lowest power at 5 horsepower. Again, 5 horsepower. But it'll take a much bigger bite than the 5 horsepower Monarch 10EE. Okay, why have these variable speed machines? Well, Lodge and Shipley came out with the AVS as a more precise tool room machine that could possibly handle these tougher materials. Because what you find on some of the worst materials, like some cast has to look, there'll be a very, very narrow band that you can work in as far as surface speed. And it can be nearly impossible, but you can usually balance things out with depth of cut and gaps in speed, with your geared head machine. But with a variable speed machine, you can precisely dial in the point where it's not chattering and you're not going to break the tool. And I'm talking about more expensive tools than your everyday carbide inserts. Some of these materials require exotic tools where inserts, a couple $100. So that's why these machines have variable speed to cut specialized material to high accuracy, saving money and time and all that. Now, is an AVS Lodge and Shipley a good choice for a hydraulics machine shop doing cylinder rods and whacking down stuff? Not a good one then. The American pacemaker and axles or even, get ready for this, the Mazak, Hercules, Ajax. There's a couple ways of doing hydraulic stuff. You can do it with antique equipment, and or you can kind of change things a little bit with the modern machine with a large expendable. That's a whole nother subject. But anyway, I just wanted to say good Saturday afternoon, just afternoon. And I'm gonna dig around here. I gotta put a piece of steel in axle set and adjust the tailstock. I just want to see what it's doing. I've drilled holes and I've kind of cleaned up some scrap metal and stuff like that, and the tailstock seems pretty good. But I want to get it dialed in and play around with that old-time Inco. Let's get that thing here. Yeah, this is a gift from the blade. Now, I'm non-commercial. I'm not going to sign contracts or sell products. And I don't care if you subscribe or not. But if you see something interesting, this was pointed out to me by somebody that knows the game. If you see something interesting in this video, in any videos I do, you think it's worth sharing, give a thumbs up, and that'll make it so other people can benefit from it, more likely to see it with the nonsense algorithms, and can kind of get around with the fakes getting in the system for views here. So this is the tailstock turned from the blade, and I'm going to set it up, and so the tailstock needs to be true for that. And these things have a lot of kind of odd things about how useful they can be, because you got to tweak your tailstock a little bit in general work. Okay, so I'll get on that, and then let's get over here. I want to say hi, and I hope you're all doing good today. I feel great. I've been getting more exercise, eating better, less sugar. You got to do that when you get older, and I'm feeling better. I had 11 surgeries, and they just about counted me out. But, it's taken a lot of years to recover, and, as I'm aging too, but I'm doing pretty darn good. Okay, so we're going to get on this. I keep kind of digging around material I have to refresh my memory. So when I get kind of deep into this, I wanted to explain the drive system and take away some of the misconceptions that are put on the fake machinist forum. Since they got a troll on there, it's 2011, some scumbag idiot that's got a better idea for drives than the company itself. But we'll talk about that. Okay, now you guys have fun, and I'll be back. And what's Chloe up to? You got any squirrels, any gophers, anything going on around here? Huh? What you got?
Well, see, she'll look. You got a gopher back there? All I gotta do is mention it and she goes looking. Okay, I'm heading in to load this video, I promise.